Greetings, Scalpel fans. Welcome back to the Dude Cave. I'm Jason. It is the 3rd of December 2016, and you are watching Comic Haul Weekly. My weekly video where I've shared with you the brand new books I picked up this week. We've got 16 books to get through this week. The order of events for this week, I'm going to go through my pull list update first, tell you the books that I've dropped and the books that I've added. I'm then going to share with you the books that I got this week, and we're going to start off with the books that I'm a bit behind on. We're going to then go to the books. I'll show you the books that I'm about to read, and then the books that I've read with opinions on them. So without further ado, let's get this bad boy on the road. First up, pull list update, and I've decided I'm adding 2 books and I'm taking 2 books off. The books that are off my pull list are Champions and Scarlet Witch. One thing about being a bit behind with my books is it kind of really clears your mind to the books that you're looking forward to and you really want to catch up on, and the books you're not so bothered. And unfortunately, Scarlet Witch fell into the category of the books that I'm not that bothered with catching up on. So I decided, you know what, save myself some time, I'm dropping the book. The other thing that was also kind of on my mind is I know there's books I want to pick up in February. There's 2 books coming out from DC. You got Batwoman and Super Sons that I might try out. And from Marvel, you've got X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold. So, you know, and that's going to be twice a month. So I need to drop about 6 books to kind of make way for those books. Because it's going to be the equivalent of 6 books, isn't it? So that's why I kind of was looking at my pull list, and I kind of thought, well, I think Extraordinary X-Men and probably All New X-Men are going to finish by then, as some of those characters are turning up in X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue. So there's 2 books. So Champions and Scarlet Witch makes 4. So now I've only got to find 2 more books to drop. So I kind of want to get into the habit of when I add books, I want to drop books to kind of equate for that balance. So I've got to find some more books to drop. And Champions, I decided I just really dislike the Amadeus Cho Hulk. I like Amadeus Cho as a character. I don't like him as the Hulk. And it was enough to put me off that book. I like the rest of the team, but I just have a real problem with that character. And I thought the rest of the book being enjoyable could kind of get me through that, but unfortunately, no. So, books I'm adding, we've got New Superman. Usually I stay away with anything with new in the title. Most times it doesn't work out very well when you have a new this or new that. But with this book, I'd heard good things about it, so I decided to give it a go, and I gotta admit, I really enjoyed it. I managed to get issue 1 and 2 for 99p off eBay, which was a bargain. It was £2 something for postage. I know, kind of, on a side note for a minute, the dude I bought them off on eBay, it took me 9 days for me to receive the books in the mail. It took him over a week before he posted them, and so I kind of like, they were well packaged when they arrived and in good condition. So I'm kind of in 2 minds. Is it kind of petty to kind of give him a bad review because it took so long to receive the books and he took so long to put them in the post when I paid straight away? As soon as I won the bid, I paid straight away. So, like, that was all done. Yet I still had to wait over a week. Is it petty to kind of downgrade him for that? Or is that the kind of thing you should kind of bring to people's attention? I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted over which I should do. Anywho, getting back into the books that I'm adding, Inhumans versus X-Men is the other book. Or is it IVX? I don't know. Is it IVX or Inhumans versus X-Men? I don't know what way it is. I don't know. Something about IVX. Part of me thinks it's clever. Part of it just really annoys me. And I'd much prefer it to be called Inhumans versus X-Men. So I don't know. So I think I'm going to call it Inhumans versus X-Men because I find IVX just annoys me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that event and hopefully it's going to be good. So now getting into books I've got. Now we have this book I picked up free. It is called Direct Comment. I think it is. Direct Comment, sorry. Lobo's hiding the S. Issue number 1. And what this is basically, it's got articles in it. I like looking at like the books that they're bringing out. Like, you've got a nice article there on Batwoman, which I'm looking forward to, and on different characters. It seems in Batgirl we're going to be introduced to Ethan Cobblepot. I'm gathering he's going to be the son of the Penguin, but or some kind of relative, you think. But yeah, it looks a nice little book with some articles in here, and of course adverts. There's Super Sons, another book I'm going to be getting in February. So yeah, I like that. I think that's a nice little free magazine to get there from your comic book shop. So these now are the books that I'm a bit behind on, so I won't be reading straight away. We've got New Superman, issue number 5. I'm waiting for issue 3 and 4 to arrive in the post. Once they've arrived, I'll be reading this bad boy. But I've been enjoying it so far. And one of the things I like about it is it's set in China. And as a kid, I remember, like, I really liked the X-Men because they had an international cast of characters. And, like, I understand comics like Marvel and DC are based in America, so you get most of the comics are going to be about America, and I'm not anti-American. It's just I think it gives a book a different feel if you have characters from different countries because they'll have different beliefs and stuff, and so that gives you more dynamics for the stories to play off. Also, if you set a book in another country, they're going to have different customs, different beliefs, and different. It's going to give the book a different feel to it just being set in America, and that's kind of what I like. And that's one of the things with this book is that it has that little bit of a different feel because it's set in China, and China has its own rules. So I'm kind of liking that. We then have Deadpool Back in Black, issue number 4. I've not read none of these yet, so I've got to get caught up on that. We then have Miss Marvel, issue 13. I've got to catch up on this. I do really like that cover there for Miss Marvel. I think that would definitely, yeah, looking at the covers, I think this would certainly be in the top few for my comic cover of the week. I really like that cover. We then have Old Man Logan, issue number 14, kicks off a brand new story arc. I've got to finish the last arc, then I'll be on to that. We've got Star Wars Annual number 2, looking like a bit of Princess Leia action, but I'm looking forward to catching up with that. We have the 12th Doctor Adventures Year 2, which another book that I'm looking forward to catching up from. The last issue, we were all kind of up to the point where the Doctor was no longer traveling with Clara, so I'm really intrigued to see these stories now where he's going to different places without a companion. And we then have Generation Zero, issue number 4. I really enjoyed the first issue of this. I haven't read issue 2 or 3 yet, which I really want to get into. The first issue I really liked. I read this group of superpowered teenagers who basically help people, kind of like the A-Team, but they find people that really need help. And the story's told from the eyes of this girl whose boyfriend's been killed. He died drink driving and crashed his car, but she knows he wasn't like that. He wasn't a drinker, and he was investigating something that he was keeping secret. And he told her he had made a big discovery, and he could share it with her now. And then he dies, and she kind of thinks it all a bit suspicious. I mean, there's a cover up going on, and this has kind of got the interest of Generation Zero, and they've come to kind of find out what's happened to her boyfriend. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first issue, so I really want to get caught up on that because it did look like a really good premise for a series. So now we're into the books that I'm about to read. We have Seven to Eternity, issue 3, which I've really been enjoying this so far. In all the best ways, Rick Remender is a crazy bastard. He just, like, his stories and his imagination are so wild and just go places my mind doesn't function the same way. I'm a bit more of a, straight down the line guy, but he kind of goes over the lines and just does some great stuff. Then you've got The Art of Jerome Pena, which is gorgeous. And I really enjoyed the first 2 issues. There's been so much world building that has gone on in those issues as well. As kind of the story feels so big because you've got this whole new world that he's got in here that you just kind of want to get in and explore. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that. We then have Black Widow, issue number 8. I say this every time, but the first couple of issues of this I was a bit disappointed, and I think it's because Wade and Samney are such a great team that you expect better. And the first couple of issues I didn't feel kind of came up to that standard. But then I don't remember if it was issue 3 or 4, but there was one issue where it just kind of kicked into gear and the story was explained and you was like, whoa, and you like was really into it then. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think it's been a great read, and I'm looking forward to getting to the latest issue. We have Extraordinary X-Men issue number 16. Things look bad last issue for our heroes, so hopefully things are going to turn out better. But you know, with the X-Men, it ain't going to get better for long. They've done a great job with this series of really making Magic into one of my favourite X-Men characters. From a character who a few years ago I wasn't really had much interest in, but now if I was to make my own like dream X-Men team, Magic would be on that team. So yeah, they've done a great job with Magic. We then have the New Adventures with the Third Doctor, issue number 3. So far, Paul Cannell's done a fantastic job of getting the spirit and the feel of the Third Doctor's era. You've got Unit, you've got Joe Grant, you've got the Master. There's just so much great stuff here that just makes it feel so authentic, Third Doctor, but at the same time, it's a brand new story. So, yeah, been great so far. Looking forward to getting more on that. And then finally, this is the final book to read. We have Savage, issue number 1 from Valiant Comics. I know absolutely nothing about this book, but it's Valiant. I love my Valiant. I try everything they bring out. In total, kind of they usually bring out about eight books and maybe 10 at the most a month. Which the Spider-related books from Marvel, there's about 9 of them. So, like for all the Spider books, you've got Valiant have a whole universe of books. But Valiant, I really like the books they bring out and the stories they tell, and I'm really looking forward to getting into Savage. Now these are the books that I've read. So first up we have Witchfinder, issue number 4, City of the Dead. I really am enjoying this book, but one thing kind of that hit me with this issue is I think this is going to read even more better. I don't know, is that proper English? I haven't got a clue. But this is definitely going to be way better as a trade. And not to put it down, it is a good book and it is a good series. But I think when you've got that story collected, I think it's going to work so much better. So we've got Edward Gray. He's investigating this dude who seems to have lived for like centuries, and like last issue things ended up badly as they were investigating him hiding in the sewers, and all these snakes kind of turned up to take them out. So ended on a good cliffhanger that gets resolved nicely in this. You constantly get a sense of peril. I like the time setting that it's set in the Victorian era, and it's like just long enough ago that it feels like a different time, and you get a different vibe with the story. But at the same time, it's modern enough that people don't believe in monsters and vampires and stuff like that. So I really like the setting. I think the setting works really well. Story's fast paced, moves along nicely, and ends on another really nice cliffhanger. And you're like, Edward Gray's in a real big problem. How's he going to get out of this? So yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was a good series, good issue. We then have Saga issue 40, which I can't believe we're up to issue 40. What I feel they do so well with this issue is the story kind of jumps around and every character kind of gets their moment. And I find they do a really good job with doing that, but it not feeling like you're jumping. It feels like the story's flowing. So yeah, I thought they did a really good job there with that. And the end looks like we're going to have something tragic happen in the next issue. But the story, while many aspects of the story feel like they're not moving, I feel that you can feel in the background, you can feel things shifting, and that it's building to something really big. And I feel the next 2 issues, which will be the final issues of this arc, are really going to kick it in big gear. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this series still. After 40 issues, it's still one of my favourite books every month. So Saga, and I enjoyed that issue. We then have Superman Annual number 1, which features the Swamp Thing, who I really like. He's one of my favourite DC characters. So basically, because Superman is from another Earth, from another reality, the vibrations, him coming to this Earth, have kind of affected the Green. So Swamp Thing turns up, the Guardian of the Green, to kind of figure out, well, what's going on. This leads to him and Superman having a misunderstanding and having a fight before they find a solution for what's going down. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I also like the art from Jimenez, because in the Swamp Thing book, like the art as a whole is really good. But in the Swamp Thing books, they used to do, doesn't do it with all of them, but used to use the panels. They'd use like this kind of, so it looked like plants, like vines off a tree or something. And Jimenez does the same kind of style here, so I really liked that. I thought that was nice. Tomasi and Gleason doing a great job writing the Superman, and yeah, this was a really enjoyable annual. If you enjoyed the Superman book, I think that's definitely worth a pick up because it's a nice self-contained read. And finally, we have Inhumans versus X-Men issue 0. This is a great thing that sets up the series really nicely, brings us up to date what's happened since Death of X and before this series, so you're brought up to date on all what's happening. I like how the story, you've got two stories kind of running parallel, as we're kind of following the Inhumans and we're following the X-Men, and we're kind of, so you can see the kind of escalation and build up to what's happening and what will lead these two sides to ending up going to war. I enjoyed this a lot. I thought it was a good start to the series. Kenneth Rocaford's art is gorgeous and just as pretty as you would expect it to. And I think Charles Soule does a good job of setting the stage for this event. I've never really found the Inhumans as a sympathetic group of characters. I'm always I think, because the X-Men so many times are like the underdog, I kind of always go for the X-Men. But also, I've got a lot more history with the X-Men than I do with the Inhumans. So yeah, I kind of find myself rooted for the X-Men. But this was a good start to the series, and it definitely built up my anticipation for an event I wasn't really that looking forward to. But I'm now, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, at least more than I was before. So those are my books I've picked up this week. I will be back hopefully sometime this week. I'll have a comic book opinions video up. I have a few things I want to talk about, so at least one comic book opinions video should be up this week. And then I will be back around this time next week with another Comic Haul Weekly. Next week, I think I've got 14 books to pick it up, so that's a nice number of books to have in a week. I find that's the perfect, for me, the perfect number. It's enough books for me to get through in a week without kind of having to, cram a load in. So yeah, that's good. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate it. Leaves me to say that I've been Jason. It is on the 3rd of December 2016. You've been watching Comic Haul Weekly. Keep reading, and bye for now.